Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 31st, last day of March. As we head in towards the end of the week, obviously it is Easter this weekend, so US and European markets will be closed. And I suggest you don't trade on Friday, have a day off. I will be. And I was just saying yesterday actually, that how fast this euro's gone. And when you look to where the euro was at the beginning of the year, around 123.50 to where we are now, 117. It's a pretty big move to happen in a quarter, almost 600 pips. And although it's been a sell-off, there has been some brief rallies and some nice ranges to get involved in. So it was good to trade for the 1 hour system. So let's have a look at what's happening today. This previous resistance I thought was going to act as support, held as support for a few hours before breaking through overnight, and towards the end of the US session, it broke support towards the end of the US session. Then overnight, we have briefly tagged this 117 handle. Let's have a look at the hour. Yeah, you can see here that 117.04 was the low, and this 7 a.m. candle, we've seen some buying pressure here, but this could be traders arriving at the desk, taking profits, probably closing out their positions if they held overnight on the euro, because it was looking extremely bearish since breaking this previous support area up here, 1761. So you might see this as a bit of profit taking. Let's see what happens on the next bar. We have buying signals, well, basically on this high. So would I be interested in taking that? I mean, we have rallied 20 pips already. So, and what's in the way? You always got to look at what's in the way. There's going to be this trend line that I had. This might act as resistance, did briefly act as support here, so I would keep this marked up on your charts should you have it. So if you enter here, obviously it's a few pips towards pivot point. It's a 20 pip move already. It's a tricky one, but if you don't take it and the market then rallies up towards this previous support area, then you're going to look a bit stupid. So yeah, I think I would be taking it. I'll be watching what happens around pivot point. Hopefully we get some kind of penetration on the first bar through this previous support area. And if it comes back down, then hopefully this previous resistance acts as support, and we push our way up towards R1, which should be enough for 1R if our stop is below the lows. If you want to be extra conservative with your stop, then maybe behind the big round number and psychological level 117. But I mean, after resistance down here, if this thing breaks the lows again, it could keep falling to no end. So yeah, tricky start to the day. Let's have a look at GU. GU, I've talked about this trend line, talked about this false breakout in previous videos. And this retest of this trend channel support that acts as resistance, we put in a pretty perfect reversal signal. What's followed since then? Yesterday, we didn't even test these lows after a candle like that, which makes me a bit suspicious of whether, in fact, the bears are still in control going into today. We are still below this level. This acts as resistance here, 137.40. So let's see what happens today in the pound. If we don't test these lows, then I imagine we come up for another test of this previous resistance, this trend channel resistance. But let's zoom in a little bit on the hourly time frame. So this kind of head and shoulders worked pretty well. It was a bit choppy yesterday. I was short below here, and I ended up closing out the position before I left overnight because it was getting a bit choppy after I mean, this isn't the clearest of patterns, but this was a support, this is a breakout, and these are some lows that the market should have tested. There was big round number in the way. We didn't even get near that. It wasn't a true test. We were a few pips above, maybe like 7 or 8 pips above, which is a sign of weakness or strength from the bulls, weakness from the bears, I mean. So what happens today? We have a buy order just above this overnight high after a big outside candle like that. And should it last for another 10 minutes, then I'll be buying here. There's plenty of room up to S1. There is this previous support area, which you need to keep an eye on. Let's see what happens there. But it looks like this thing is not going to last 10 minutes. It could push through straight away. And if it does, then we miss the trade. We have to wait for something else. So that's what I'm looking for. GU on the sell. The sell signal is below, is here as well. So you might have to wait for these lows to be cleared, and then you got S1, and then you got big round number. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. But saying that, if this candle closes and we come all the way back down, that might be powerful enough to enter here for a scalp to S1 and close your eyes and hope that everything just gets smashed through and we go to test these lows. So it might be worth considering taking the early sell signal here should we get there. But yeah, as we speak, we are smashing through the overnight high. So we might have missed this long. UY, extremely frustrating that all of these original breakouts have happened overnight. Same happened last night, pretty much a Tokyo Open or the open of the Asian session. Big rally higher all the way to almost 111, which is pretty insane given how little UY used to move. If you look at these hourly candles here compared to what they are now, and like Euro USD, we were around 108.62, and now we're almost at 111, just after a week even. Let's have a look at the daily. We're going to have to look at the weekly actually to see what's around as resistance. Yeah, so this 111 is it's not exactly this top double top, neither is 112, so somewhere in between. So 111 to 112, these psychological levels could get a bit choppy. There was also this resistance here back in 2019 that played its part. So a really big move here in UY. So we can expect maybe around this area to act as some kind of resistance and to put a pause on this this rally for now. Even though this first leg since breaking out of this this trend channel before this bull flag, this is 105 to 108, like 300 pips, and this is 109. So yeah, we could reach 1012 if we get the same measured move as the first leg. So interesting things here for UY. Sorry, let me go back to the daily. Where to look for support? I would always look at these big round numbers, 110. This previous resistance, which was the breakout for the second leg of this rally, is 109.25. So keep an eye on these kind of levels, and also this previous resistance, 109.70. Lots to talk about today. EY, I wanted to talk about this potential head and shoulders, this being the head, this being the left shoulder, and possibly now we're approaching 130, this psychological level, which is the top of this left shoulder, could become resistance here. Should we get a move all the way back, which is 150 pips? Yes, I know, which is a long old way, so it's a bit early to be talking about head and shoulders patterns, but it's just nice to build a picture in your mind to see where the market is played and add some structure to the daily price action. Obviously, this is the neckline around about this 128.40 area. So let's see what happens around this 130 on the daily. If we go down to the hourly, yesterday we took this long here. It was going nowhere. I also had this trend line drawn up, and it looked like it was going to be a break of a ascending triangle. It didn't happen. So after trying 4 or 5 times to go up, it failed. We then came close back inside this this triangle resistance, tested this support again, back up to the resistance, put in like this pin bar. It looked like we were going to tank, and we found some support around 129.20 for some reason. There's nothing clear that I can see here, but it managed to catch a bid in the euro yen, and then we tested this 129.20 area again. This formed overnight, and then at Tokyo Open, or the open of the Asian session, we had this big thrust candle that made this breakout of this ascending triangle after a false breakout higher. This is a false breakout lower, and we get some get this thrust candle through, which took all the stops out. I imagine I could just be making that up, but it sounds pretty good. Yeah, so now we're at this resistance here around 129.90. So bear with me. Is there anything left for us here? Let me just check. I want to have a look if we got the signal. Yeah, we have a signal to buy at the top here. I mean, after this kind of pattern was faded out, I like this long. Another long here above this high, which I think might be the high of the right shoulder. Should we buy here and put the stop here? It's a bit of a tricky trade, especially after we've already come up almost 70 pips already in the euro, and we're already at R2 for the day. And there's also this big resistance here. I mean, let me just zoom out a little bit more. If there's a trade you want to avoid, this one might be the one. It all depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're aggressive and you think that this has some room to go, there is a trend channel resistance all the way up here. This might be the day. This is a clear false breakout. There might be some momentum here, and once we get to R2, I'm not sure where R3 is, but I have to have a look after this. Let me just quickly change this. Yeah, so R3 is right on big round number as well. So the daily range, we're close to the average. You're going to be getting in a few pips below R3, a few pips below big round number. Yeah, maybe this one is worth missing, but if it goes straight through and carries on, I'm going to look like an idiot. But there we go. This is just my analysis. Do with it what you will. AU again, head and shoulders theme. Although we didn't test this the support area on this right hand shoulder, we have now, for it to be a clear head and shoulders pattern, I guess we need to come back up and test this right shoulder high before breaking out again. So something like that, or you. This is a tough one as well. I mean, that is the neckline. It just depends. If you jump the gun and you start shorting this, thinking this is head and shoulders, and the market brings you back up here, and then back down again, then you're going to curse yourself for jumping the gun if you're a head and shoulders trader. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, but anyway, patterns aside, this is definitely a support area. We've broken through some kind of trend line. We have a double top around here, which is also resistance. This is a false breakout. So let's see what happens. This could get pushed down, and obviously the September, the first high, has been untested since breaking through. So it could be on the cards, and AU could be on for some kind of retracement. So maybe this is it. Let's have a look at the hourly. Yeah, we have a buy signal up here, which would be nice. This cleared pivot point. This R1, which is an acceptable amount away. Stop would be probably below this double bottom here. And also this trend line that we broke through yesterday, we haven't retested, so we might get back up to this kind of area before deciding where to go next. Obviously, this is a big outside bar at 8 a.m., so it looks good, a good buy to me. Hopefully, this can get there. The sell signal is below this low. Perfect. There is this support to be worried about, but there's enough room for a test down to this area. Should you want to short below this on a breakout. Interesting stuff here in AU. I'll just quickly talk about EA on the daily. Daily, I was getting excited yesterday because this previous trend line resistance, we broke through, nice clear breakout, came back, retested it. This bar was looking something like this when I left the office last night. So it looked like a big bullish bar, similar to GU on a retest of a trend line. But then coming back to my screens today, it doesn't look that great anymore. It looks kind of like a doji to me. So not a good buy signal. It looks like this is going to be a false breakout, and we're going to close back inside this trend line, and this might lead to a break of these lows. So let's see what happens there. Anyway, that's all. It's 8 a.m., so I need to start trading. So good luck, everybody.